And hello, everyone. Welcome to our third call, the Ojai Institute. This one is dedicated to the weekly debrief, and we put in here to your success. One of the things that we teach in all of our seminars and our coaching is this opportunity every 5 to 7 to 9 days where you press pause, look around, and catch up with where you are. Really taking a look at how did the last 7 days go? How are the next 7 days looking? And really, how do you acknowledge the successes you've experienced and simultaneously set yourself up for what it is that you're engaging with over the short term coming up? And again, back to this constant theme that we've been talking about, really taking a look at what have you said yes to? What have you agreed to? What have you committed to out there? What's going on that's going to require a little bit more of your time, your energy, your focus? If you remember from that first conference call we did, and of course the recording is available at cjasonspeak.com. Those two areas that we're really focusing on through the Ojai Institute. The first one is performance. And again, that definition of carrying out, accomplishing, completing something. As you look down the road, how are you lining things up so that you can experience success moving forward? And being productive. Really, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, when you look back on that day and you ask yourself, success, not success, good, bad, efficient, not, it's really taking a look at, did I do what I said I would do in the time that I promised? And as you all know, we make most of our agreements about what we're going to do with ourselves. So, really, the weekly debrief is, for me, time to come in and just get current. I put up here, it gives you the time to clean the slate. And the photograph that I put with this presentation of having a clear whiteboard. From where I am in my office, I can actually look across the room, and on that wall, I have a large whiteboard. It actually takes up the whole entire wall. And through the day, through the week, through the month, I'll have different things up there. And for me, the idea of going to the whiteboard and erasing everything to start over again, it's a freeing exercise. Now, mind you, in order to clean the slate, I need to have buckets and places to put all of those things. So if I put a to-do list on the whiteboard, or if I've put a project plan on the whiteboard, or if I've put an area of focus on that whiteboard, before I erase it, I better have some system in place to keep track of all those ideas. Four things that the weekly debrief does for me personally, and in all of our coaching and seminars, in the follow-up calls that we do. Here's really the four areas that I'm working to follow up with each client. Creating clarity, clearing desk space, clearing mental space, clearing technological space. Just going through and listening and capturing all of your voicemails, or going through and clearing out a couple of buckets of your email system, or at least getting current with those. One of the techniques that a lot of clients use in the weekly debrief is going to their sent items in their email system. And if you just go through, organize by person, and intuitively you'll know who those people are that are still on your mind, that there's still outstanding business there. And you can just dive in and take a look. What are the things that I'm waiting for from Ed, or what are the things that I'm waiting for Susan? Re-engaging and re-inspiring yourself. The definition of inspire is kind of to go in and then bring something out for me. What is it that's inside that, if it were out, it would be interesting, inspiring, exciting to me? And simply re-engaging with my system, going through my notebook, my journal. I actually separate my journal into two parts. From the front to the back is full of ideas and pictures, and I'll glue or tape in a business card or a cutout of a newspaper. It's kind of my idea generation and creative center. From the back of my journal towards the middle, and honestly, it's usually only 2 to 10 pages for any journal that I keep for 4 or 5 months. My to-do list. So I'm out and about, I'm delivering a seminar, I'm in a coaching, I'm sitting at my desk, I remember to call someone, I just make a little list in the back of that notebook. As I get back to my desk through the days of the week, I generally try and pull those actions over into my system. My weekly debrief, that's the time where I get to catch up with everything. And I'll be honest, there's some weeks that go by that 3, 4, 5 days, I don't get a chance to clear everything out, my inboxes, my idea generation, my journal. But that 1 hour a week of the debrief really allows me to re engage. Number three, easy enough, acknowledge accomplishment. One of the things that happens in the weekly debrief is you start checking off things. Oh, I did that. Oh, that's finished. Oh, I already did that. Oh, that's great. Oh, let me go tell someone what I've done this week. Number four, manage your promises. And in the last session that we did on goal setting and seeing it before you see it, I presented this idea of managing your goals as promises to yourself and really diving in and remembering, if you will, what it is you said you would do. I'm not going to go through all the things that I do in my own weekly debrief. I'll just call out a couple of things that I'm very attentive to. One of the things I do, as I was just saying, is I review all my to-do lists. And I happen to keep a series of to-do lists on my computer. They synchronize to my PDA. I have an iPhone this year. And I essentially go through not doing any of the work off those to-do lists, simply moving around, checking off as complete, maybe reprioritizing. If there's a to-do there that must be done by a certain date, I may put a little note on my calendar. I'll also add anything that has not been captured, and that's when I'll go back through my journal, I'll go back through the post-its, I'll go back through the notes, anything to get those to-do lists back to current. Here's another area in my weekly debrief. When I'm home in the office, I like to go through a drawer. And I'll just pick a drawer or pick an area of the desk. And what I do is I actually pull everything out of that drawer. I put it up on top of the desk. And then one by one, I put things back. What belongs in that drawer? And then I usually have two other areas. One is trash, rubbish. What do I not even need anymore? What pens are no longer working? Materials that aren't working correctly. And then the other one is a donate pile. And generally, whenever I go through one of these spaces, I'll come up with some things to bring to the local thrift store or give away to our local school. I'm a big fan of kind of reusing things that I'm done with, but someone else might find a use for. Here's another area. I travel a lot. So between my briefcase and my suitcase, I like to go through those on a weekly basis. Are all my toiletries stocked? Do I need to change or look at any of the tools or gear that I'm traveling with? How can I make sure that when I do take everything out, it all goes back into its place? And happy to say, over the past couple of years, I've been buying the same things less, if that makes sense to those of you who travel. I get to a city, and generally speaking, I've got everything I need there. And I attribute that to being, on a weekly basis, being conscious and aware of what it is that I'm going to need over the next week. And I'll pack my suitcase and, of course, my briefcase accordingly. Here's one more area that I'll suggest that you consider in your weekly debrief. Calendar. Go 14 to 21 days back, and then go 21, maybe 28 days ahead. Backwards, I'm always looking for where was I, what have I done, who did I meet with, who did I talk to, and forward, where am I going, who am I meeting with, what do I need to prepare for. Intuitively, let me ask you to consider this. What might you use 1 hour a week for? Okay, if you had 1 hour off to kind of get back to current, back to even, what would you use that for? Here are the things that I'd recommend you do this week. Review your calendar and actually schedule the next 2 weekly debrief sessions. Make them a 1 hour meeting on your calendar and choose someone to call who you're going to describe your debrief session to. It could be a coach, a mentor, a friend, a colleague, a peer, and kind of decide and identify who that is that you're going to call and what it is that you're going to tell them. I look forward to our 4th seminar presentation, and please stay tuned through the website ohiinstitute.com. Hope you're well, and please do stay in touch. Thanks.